Hello, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be learning how to draft a corset with already made bra cups. So if this is what you are interested in, please keep on watching. The measurement we'll be needing for this tutorial is right on the screen. So the first thing we are going to do right here is to draft out our basic block. So I'm going to rule out a horizontal line here, which is going to serve as our starting point. This line here is our starting point. This is where we're going to be taking all of our measurement down. Then the next thing I'm going to do right here is to come down to take all of our vertical measurements. I'm going to come down to mark my bust point, which is 10, my under bust, which is 13, and my waist, which is 16, and also the length of our blouse. I'll just go ahead and rule out the points. And I'll just go ahead and indicate on order. This is my bust point, this is my under bust, and this is my waistline. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to divide my shoulder. Coming to the shoulder line, I'm going to divide my shoulder by 2 and mark it right here. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'm going to mark 7.5 here. And on this point, I'm going to come down to mark my shoulder slope. You know our shoulders are not straight, right? So the 1 inch I came down is for our shoulder slope. And I'm going to come here and mark 3 inch for my neck width. And then for my neck depth, I'm going to mark 3, even though we don't need this, but for the sake of beginners who don't know what a basic block is, so I'll just go ahead and connect our shoulder slope this way. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to now connect my neck with my French curve, like so. So what we are doing next is to get our arm length. So I'm going to come down from here to mark my arm length. How to get your arm length? You divide your bust by 6, then you add 1.5 inch to it. That's how to get your arm length. And I'll just rule the points together and then extend it across. This is our chest line. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to divide my bust span by 2, which is the distance from one nipple to the other. My nipple to nipple is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5, but I'm going to add 0.5 to the measurement. So I'm marking 4 on the waistline and on the under bust line. Then I'm going to connect the 2 points together with a straight line. Then on the both side of the line, on the waistline, I'm going to mark 0.5 on both sides. Then I'm going to connect it all the way from the under bust to the point I marked on the waistline, like so. We now have our dart. Then I'll come to this line and then measure whatever I have there and divide it by 2 to get the midpoint. I'll mark the midpoint here, and then on the point I'm going to go in by 0.5, and then I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust measurement by 4, mark it on the chest line, then I'll connect the point together with my French curve. We now have our armhole curve. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to impute my body measurement. So we've already marked our bust measurement, so I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance here on the chest line. Okay, so I'll come to the under bust. I will divide my under bust by 4, mark it here, then I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance as well. I'll come to the waistline. I'll do the same thing. I'll divide my waistline, my measurement by 4, add, then the 1 inch we took for our dart, I'm going to replace it, and then I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance as well. Then I'll connect all the points together. I'll just go ahead and blend it to avoid any form of sharp edge. And then I'll blend this into the line as well. So the next thing we're going to do right here is to draft out our cup, but before then I'll come to the bust line. I'll mark 0.5 here. I'll mark the same thing on the under bust. So this is the space in between our bust, right? Then I'll connect the points together. Then I'll bring in my cup and then place it right this way. Make sure the cup is touching this line but not exceeding the line, okay? Then I'll just go ahead and trace it all the way. Please just watch how I'm tracing it and make sure when placing your cup, place it properly. So when I come to the edge of the cup, I'm going to mark it outward this way. Then I'll do the same thing here. So our cup is ready. I'll just go ahead and increase this. And I'll do the same thing here. We now have our cup. I'll just go ahead and blend it, trace it out where. So now our cup is ready. It's as simple as this. I'll just go ahead and cut it out so we can cut the back. Please pay attention to how I'm cutting it, okay? So you don't cut wrongly. Now our front pattern is ready. When you open it this way, this is how it's going to look. You see how beautiful it is, right? When you place your cup, you fix in your cup, this is how it's going to be. Very simple. This came out so fine, right? So I'll just take this and place on the back pattern. But before then, I'll mark 1.5 inch for our zipper allowance, okay? So this space here is for our zipper. So I'll place the front pattern right this way. Make sure it's touching the line and then I'll trace it out. So we now have our back pattern. I'll just trace it out. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to measure my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4. I'm going to mark it right here. Then I'll take the line all the way up. Then on the both sides of the line, I'll mark 0.5 like we did on the front pattern. And then connect it all the way to the point. So we now have our dart. Our back is ready. I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So this is all for the back. It's very, very simple. So we now have our back pattern. So this is the back and this is the front. So this is all we have for today's tutorial. Thank you for watching, and please do where to like this video in order for YouTube algorithm to pick it. Thank you so much and God bless you. See you in my next video. Bye.